One.
Hello everyone, Scan here at PlayerOne Esports. On this week's episode, we're going to be looking at a pair of characters coming to a pair of very popular games. Microsoft reveals the future of the Halo franchise, and the BAFTAs announce their nominees for their Game Awards happening in early April. All that plus another look into what is happening here in the world of PlayerOne Esports. All of that on today's episode of Game Center. First this week, a pair of characters are coming to a pair of very popular current games. In Apex Legends, Octane, a character who was originally leaked due to a data mine, is indeed coming to the game on March 19th, so a bit earlier than expected. The data mine was roughly accurate. The character uses stim packs to trade health for speed, passively heals while not in combat, and the character's ultimate is indeed the jump pad that has appeared on the map recently. Again, that character will be releasing on the 19th. Over in Dragon Ball FighterZ though, a big surprise as Kid Goku is entering the fray. Just not the Kid Goku any of us were expecting. It's Kid Goku from Dragon Ball GT, a series which is not even considered canon to the overall Dragon Ball lore anymore. So everyone was expecting Kid Goku. We just thought that it would be Kid Goku from the original 1980s Dragon Ball series and not the mid-1990s, again, not canon anymore, Dragon Ball GT. We have a few screenshots of the character so far, including seeing the character using a massive spirit bomb and the fact that the character does have his power pole weapon, which is awesome. That's what I wanted. That's the number one thing I wanted out of the character. Overall, I think the character actually looks really good. I think both of these characters look unique, and I look forward to trying them both out when they release in their respective games. EverQuest, an MMO icon and one of arguably the most important video games ever released, recently celebrated its 20th anniversary on March 16th. In order to celebrate the event, a large infographic was released showing many of the milestones and very impressive numbers associated with the game. 1,600 zones, a landmass roughly the size of Delaware, 400,000 NPCs, and over 150,000 unique items. So if you're a completionist, stay away from this game. But it's clear that there is quite a bit of devotion to the title. Currently, the most played hours in the game by a single character total over 4,750 days. Not hours, days. To put that into perspective for you, that means roughly 2/3 of the time that this game has existed, over the last 20 years, this one character has been online playing the game. The devotion is real, the fan base is still there, and the updates are still regular. 20 years is an enormous milestone for any game, but EverQuest shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. So congratulations to the entire EverQuest team for reaching this absolutely momentous milestone. In easily the most surprising news of the past week, and arguably the most surprising news of all of 2019, the Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. Now, it isn't just the Halo Master Chief Collection that is coming, it's every Halo game but Halo 5 that is coming to PC. These games will be released in the chronological order in which they take place within the Halo universe, and will be coming out one at a time over the course of 2019. So the first game slated to be released will be Halo Reach. Now, we all already knew that Halo Infinite, the direct sequel to Halo 5, was already coming to PC. That was part of the first announcement of the game and was a major surprise then. But the idea that nearly the entirety of the Halo franchise will soon be playable on PC has sent the fan base into an absolute frenzy. Now, if you ask me, and I know this is a bit of a controversial opinion, I'm a Halo 2 guy, not a Halo 3 guy. I do like Halo 3's multiplayer, don't get me wrong, but Halo 2's multiplayer will always have an extremely special place in my heart. That is the one I am personally looking forward to the most. There's no official release date on any of these games yet, but you can be sure that we are going to be on top of those games when they are released here at PlayerOne Esports. The BAFTA Game Awards announced their nominations earlier this week, and God of War is definitely the head of the pack. It has 10 nominations overall, including Game of the Year, with the two closest games to it being Red Dead Redemption and The Return of Obra Dinn, which are up for 6 nominations each. Now, God of War is approaching its 1-year anniversary. That game was originally released back on April 20th of 2018, and it quickly became one of the most commercially and critically successful games of all of 2018. Also earning Game of the Year awards from the likes of IGN, Entertainment Weekly, the Game Awards, and many, many others. Other games nominated for Game of the Year at the BAFTA include Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Astrobot, and Celeste. Again, the awards take place on April 5th and will be hosted by comedian and notable gamer Dara O'Brien. It was a busy week here at PlayerOne Esports with tons of competition as well as our first ever IRL event. Starting off in Rocket League, the field was wide open in this week's 2v2s as many favorites from past events were unable to make this week's event. Grand Finals came down to Team Monkus taking on questionable cognitive processes. QCB clawed their way to finals after 3 straight 2-1 victories, while Monkus had only dropped a single game before this set. Games 1 and 2 were very close affairs, but Monkus' domination from throughout the event carried on through Grand Finals, as they took Game 3 by a margin of 7-3 and the tournament with it. Over in PUBG Duos from this past weekend, a new point system and a wave of new competitors really shook things up. Despite not winning a single of our 4 matches from this past weekend, the Zenith Ethelites had 4 straight top 5 finishes, which ended up being enough points for them to end up with a tie for first place with the winners of Games 2 and 4, Baby Cakes. Third place went to Laz and Dustin, who won Game 1 and came in second place in Game 4. The Mr. Murder Bear bonus was also split, this time between Zenith and Logic Squad, with 17 kills each. PlayerOne held its first IRL event here in Indianapolis over the weekend with the Midwest Battlefield, a 64-player Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament. Over the course of 6 hours, these 64 competitors showed why they're considered amongst the best in the Midwest, including the likes of Mr. Work, Israel, Renegade, Vorst, Mysterica, and Morty. Grand Finals came down to Mysterica out of the winner's bracket and Renegade coming out of loser's bracket. Mysterica had been putting on a Zelda clinic throughout the night, but pulled out a surprise Palutena to take on Renegade's Ike. Each game was close, but the outfoxed runner-up would not be denied their championship, as Mysterica took the final set a clean 3-0 and the title of Midwest Battlefield Champion. That will wrap things up here for this week's edition of Game Center. If you want to know more about what's going on in the PlayerOne Esports universe, you can follow us here on YouTube, give us a follow over on Twitch, and also check out our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. For Game Center and PlayerOne Esports, this has been Scan. Game on and press start, everybody.